Hi, this is MEZA Grandduchess Rasmaskone, also known as Ryan Tomlinson, 3706 Manor Road, Apartment 2. Flowers and feathers, fluffs and tufts, purple stem flowers, and strawberries, rocks. Anyway, today I just have a little commentary today, you know what I mean? Normally I do my little videos, whatever. Some of the worst thing in the world, I mean, there is no associate. Once you have left the past, there is no association with the past. If you have a thought or an association of the past, it proves to tell you. I mean, for me, in the spirit, in my little earth holistic self, you know, I always say something from the past coming to interject either reminds you of its incorrectness and reaffirm your forwardness and strength of character, that you would never turn back to such egregious injury and such desperation of being inhumane and being intolerant of injustice and lack of integrity, etc., whatever it is. When I think about all the places that I've been associated, not like I never liked people, and I'm going back, yes, people in the military, not like I never liked, but you know what? Not like I never liked them. But I was never, and not because I have changed and I couldn't embrace them. Remember, the outer change is just an outer appearance. The inner change, the inner never changed, it just blossomed outer, in the outer self. And such is the growth of truth. Not that I could never turn back and look at any military unit and look at it and say, there was a good set of people. But such is life. Some people can. And that's okay. But what I'm trying to get at, the past sometimes come back as a reminder of things that will never be, of things that hurt you and couldn't even confront itself in order to be decent and inhumane. A lot of Christians ask me a lot of things and so forth, and she was saying to me something about Job, and then I said, you know what? But while Job sat in the ashes, his wife passed, and the Bible said his children died and so forth, but maybe they just disowned him, and maybe he would no longer tolerate him because he would never curse whatever he wanted to curse. Another person came to me today and gave a commentary, somebody I see on a regular basis, because I go to get, do my exercises and so forth. And she said X, Y, and Z, and I said, well, so forth in truth. Do you notice when Jesus was there on the pilot being interrogated, no one testified for him, not even his own mother? Everyone was afraid. Regardless what they knew as the truth, they accepted something else and was afraid. They were probably even afraid to ask for his body, his own family. Because that is the way truth is. And if you embrace the truth in life and you find your way, people will have a lot of things to say. Usually homosexual was abandoned to a mental illness. Then it became transgendered. And then it became a lot of things. But what we never embrace is the humanity of difference in another person and the truth. We label it to our own condition and to our own detriment of society. So when people bring to me Christ and so forth, I'm not Christian, I'm not a Jew or Muslim, but realize it for what it was. And if he rose from the dead, he never said, hey, go to temple and pray 6 times. He said the temple would be destroyed, 6 million Jews were killed, and so forth. Go figure. That's not my word, that's history. So if you believe in something, you become to live your life for that something. You become to believe it, and you embrace your life experience because of it. The only reason why I joined the military is for the integrity, the dignity, and truth. Something greater than myself. I always felt like when I walked into the military, it was so vast that I was so proud. And when I left, I felt like I was so much bigger and it was so small and diminished, so unlike me, person for truth and honor and integrity. And in that sense, my motto, smaller than the crowd, greater than the room. A crowd sometimes, in its stupidity and moralism, cannot accept conscience, cannot be conscientious. And is truth not conscientious? Is strength, power, is knowledge unacceptable for justice? And so we will be willing to, I confront myself, to you. How is it that so many young black people end up in jail for so menial things, and so many congressmen will get off for such serious things and never spend a dime in jail? But anyway, let's go back. I'm not going back to that. It's not even racial. It crosses on the underserved line. But I wrote this thing, and I always go back to this. And when I was getting out of Walter Reed, they couldn't see themselves. But if you couldn't see yourself, when I was getting out of Walter Reed, let me finish the sentence properly. They kept on saying, you know, forgive. They couldn't see themselves. And okay, great. You couldn't see yourself. So what is your resolution? What is your solution? You ruin somebody's life and health and so forth in an evil transcendic way. And evil does good never transcend. Good rise all the time. Evil transcend in everything that it does and envelops. If it transcends, and once evil gone, it comes. And the person that apologizes, you notice the evil never apologizes for itself, or the people that do the evil. It's always somebody that represent them send the apology. Can you believe that? And if it's a good person, just stand up and say, I accept my responsibility. I apologize, and move on. I wrote this quotation today. It says, evil trans true, unable to see themselves when guilt persecutes, and innocence to blue, and never realize its wretched self until a speaker apologizes and wishes innocence well. Innocence casts no spells and acts only for conscientiousness, and pretense prevents justice itself. For truth and innocence is an idealistic utopia to them. Mean that, and if I've come across my experience, Miss Hall told me, the military don't need conscientiousness. They don't need to be just. They're strong. They can do whatever they want. True. She's not the first. She's not the second. But is that the type of society we want? Is that what liberty has no conscience? Does democracy not have conscience? We blame communism, Putin, and Russia. What do we have as a nation? Are we not happy, conscientious people? Do we not want to do the right thing? Don't we allow freedoms? So when is it that such evil entrance such a people that's supposed to protect us? And I berating them all, but aren't they supposed to protect us and our children and our neighbors? And when our children fall victim, are our children victims alone to their grave, to a little matchbox cell, or a mental institution after being harassed to death in their moronic psychological operation? Then what value is the citizenry? What value is a human life? This is MEZA Grandduchess RASMASKONEN, also known as Ryan Tomlinson. Think hard and look. It's a slippery slide the road for the evil that has enveloped us. Have a good evening.